is, bro. Subscribe to Entertainer. Who's going to win the All-Stars tonight?
Yeah, I like the Entertainer. Go on, give me your top 8, champion. Give me your top 8.
Top eight in no order. Richmond.
Yep.
Collingwood.
Yep.
West Coast Eagles.
Yep.
Western Bulldogs.
I can't believe you just put them in the top 4. I know they're not in order, but you just put them in the top 4.
Not in order.
Gee whiz.
Port Adelaide.
Hmm?
Brisbane.
Hmm?
Geelong. And GWS.
That took you way too long to say Geelong, you bloody sneaky devil. I tell you, that took you. You're giving me a heart attack there. You're giving me a heart attack there. Who out of that list do you think is going to take it all out this year, and why?
My grand finals is 2 I've got written down. I've got Collingwood versus Richmond, where Collingwood don't choke, if you know the
Get out of
song,
town. I don't believe it.
Love it when Collingwood choke. But the other one, I think it's a very likely grand final because I really like the Eagles this year. I like the Lions and the Eagles with the Eagles taking it out.
There's no Geelong there. That's the mistake.
No Geelong. Geelong. No, they're in the 8 though. They're in the 8.
They're in the 8, and I possibly agree with you. But I think that I think Collingwood and Richmond is a great shout. But I think that's what everyone's tipping right now. Well, actually, no. There's actually quite a few people who are tipping a few other ones. Like you've got people tipping your GWS again, playing Richmond. You got your GWS Richmond again, which just would be the shittest grand final again because obviously last year was terrible. You've got some people saying that buddy Port Adelaide are going to make the grand final. And I'm sorry, Port Adelaide a good team, but a grand final, I'm not going to put them above about 5 or 6 other teams. I think Port Adelaide are good. Let's relax. But hey, AJ, what are you thinking? What's your top 8, and who do you think is going to take it out this year?
I've got my top 8 in order. I've got Pies, Collingwood as minor premiers.
Yeah.
I've got Geelong sitting 2nd, Richmond sitting 3rd, West Coast sitting 4th, Port Adelaide sitting 5th, Essendon in the surprise 6th.
I like it. No, I like it. I've said this to Hayden too.
In a shocker, St Kilda, I think they'll have a really good season in 7th, and GWS in 8th.
GWS. So who are you missing out on? You're missing out on the Brisbane Lions there.
Yeah, I don't think the Lions, even though they've got the first 5 games at home, or next 4 games at home, I think they're just going to falter and they'll just miss out in 9th. But St Kilda's going to have a great season in 7th.
Are the home games impacted by any of this? Like, is Adelaide playing in Adelaide still, and West Coast still playing in West Coast, and Brisbane still playing in Brisbane? Like, or is their team, are they moving them around like the NRL?
So West Coast and Freo are come to the Gold Coast, and they're playing Gold Coast and Brisbane for the first 4 rounds, and then we'll find out after that, of course. And then after the showdown, Port and Adelaide both move into the Gold Coast. So.
Oh, wow. So Port and Adelaide. So everyone's basically coming to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, so where? 6 teams.
And you're stuck in Fiji, mate.
I'm stuck in Fiji, But then again, I'll be back by like August, so there's only about a month or 2 away. So I'll be back by around 8, and then I'm partying it up with Charlie. Be a bit of Dixon in my life. But let me get into my top 8 because it's actually quite tough this year, in my opinion. It is really tough to fit everyone in. I think there will be quite a couple of teams that will improve. I think North Melbourne will improve, but I don't think they're making the 8. I think St Kilda will improve, but I don't think they're making the 8. I think Adelaide will be around that 8, but they won't make it. So my top 8 is, and not in order, I think Geelong will make it. I think that next year we can either come 2nd or 7th, 2nd or 8th. The point of the matter is that we will make that 8, but I don't know where, because we're a team that could win the minor premiership, but we're also a team that can struggle through massive amounts of time. So I'm excited to see where Geelong comes. I'm excited to see how Geelong's season goes, but we do have a lot of older players now. We do have a lot of players that have they're out of their peaks, but we do have a lot of younger players coming through as well. So it's an interesting outlook for Geelong. I will back us in to make the top 8, but I don't know where to put us there. You've got your Richmond, obviously. You've got your Collingwood, who I'm actually putting Collingwood number 1. I'll tell you that right now. I got West Coast obviously being there. I got GWS being there. I'm all in with Essendon, by the way. I'm all in with Essendon. I feel like they're definitely the team that's going to shock everyone this year. And I also love Port Adelaide. So that's. Did I put 8 there? So no, sorry. So Geelong, Brisbane, Richmond, Collingwood, West Coast, GWS, Essendon, and Port Adelaide. There you go. Yeah. So that's my top 8 there. I don't know where those teams go. I think Port Adelaide will probably be around 5th. I think Collingwood, 1st. I think Richmond probably still 2nd or 3rd. West Coast, 2nd or 3rd. nearly put Geelong fourth, really. And then you've got your Essendon pushing in for that 5th to 7th range, 5th to 8th range. And I actually think Essendon will be pretty good this year, so I'm really looking forward to it. But right here, BCAS Sport, tipping the Collingwood Magpies to take out the premiership. I think that this will be the year that they don't choke, like Hayden said, and I think they're a good enough team this year. They've got a lot of stars in their team, and obviously a couple of years back, I was down there with the Collingwood fans across the road from the MCG. I filmed a vlog for it, and that was heartbreaking for all Collingwood fans against West Coast, and obviously for the team. And then you've got last year where I was down in Melbourne, actually, across the road at Amy Park watching the game. It was pouring down rain. It was the shittest weather you would ever imagine. And they were going up against the GWS. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm talking mainly to you here, AJ. But I'll be honest with you, man. I think that Collingwood would have absolutely touched up GWS if the weather was in good condition. And we would have gotten a really good
100%.
grand final, mate.
Yeah. My 2 grand final tips are... One's going to be a good one. It's Geelong versus Collingwood. That'd be a cracking grand final.
I like it.
That'd be okay. And the other one's going to be a massive shock. Don't hate on me, guys, but I think it's going to be West Coast St Kilda. I know it's shocker, but that's crazy.
Okay, hang the call up. No, this is the second time now. That's 2 strikes. You got one more strike and you're out. St Kilda.
But yeah.
What's going on here?
Hayden,
is he having a few drinks? Did he have a few drinks before he joined?
I think you had a few drinks, didn't you, AJ? Yeah.
No, mate. Honestly, you never know. Like, as we know, with like we don't know about teams with how they've been training and how they can come out. The Saints could come out and shock everyone. So I give them a real chance. So yeah.
Yeah, but tell me who they've got though, man. Like, who have they got? They're going to challenge the teams like Collingwood and Richmond, and I would put them around. Like I said, they'll improve, but I think I've got them around maybe 10th or 11th. I don't think they're making the top 8. A grand final is outrageous.
Outrageous things can happen. So
I think if I was going to give a shock, a top 8 hopeful, like obviously Essendon, I guess, is a shock, but I don't necessarily believe they're a shock. I think if anyone could shock, I think North Melbourne could do something this year. I don't think they're going to win the premiership. I don't reckon they're going to make the top 4, but I think that if you're going to see a team push that is unexpected, it could be the likes of Benny Brown and the Kangas, mate. I do like. I don't mind them this year.
I reckon Carlton are going to miss the 8, obviously, but I reckon they are working. Hang on, I reckon they're.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Yeah.
I reckon they're working towards the top 8 spot. You'll see Paddy Cripps getting a lot of Brownlow votes, leading the team around. Got to get around him. Speaking on that, Paddy Cripps and Lachie Neale, they're my 2 tips for the Brownlow.
Oh,
so get around that.
Good shout.
I think, good shout.
AJ, who do you reckon Brownlow?
I got him, my boy, Danger. So
the Danger. Well, that would rely on us having a good season. So that would rely on us being up the top. I think there's a few players that I'd give it to, but I think someone from Collingwood's going to get it. Like let's imagine. I think that Hayden, you're basically tipping Collingwood, right?
I'm tipping Collingwood as premiers. Yeah.
Okay, so and AJ, you said Collingwood could make the grand final, right?
Yep.
So we've all basically said Collingwood are going to have a fantastic year. So if Collingwood are to go and have a fantastic year, who do you feel like is going to be the guy to win the Brownlow from their team? Pendlebury is definitely up there.
Scott Pendlebury's up there. Adam Treloar's up there too. Adam Treloar could be a good shout. Not
That's
a bad
the thing.
one.
I think that I personally think that someone in the Collingwood midfield is going to get it. Pendles is obviously up there. I don't actually necessarily feel like he's going to be that guy. I think if anyone, Treloar could definitely be the type over in that midfield. And this isn't Brownlow talk, but I think that De Goey's going to have a really good year too. Jordan Hill. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. I think he's going to really rip in, and it's going to be really enjoyable to watch that. So that's our tips for the AFL. Oh, real quickly, this is real quick, but we have to make our tips. But let's go and we're going to race through them. We're going to race through them for the first round. So first up, we've got Collingwood, Richmond. I am going to tip Collingwood by 6. Oh, tough game, that one. Real tough. And it's hard because we can't really explain our tips here. So this is real hard. But Hayden, who are you going and how much?
So in round, I'm going with Richmond by 16.
Richmond by 16. Geelong Hawthorn. I'm going to take... Actually, no, Hayden, you're going first here, buddy. Hayden, you're going first here. How you going? Who you going? Geelong Hawthorn.
I've got Hawthorn outside of.
Shit.
Hang on, I've got Hawthorn outside of the top 8, and I really want to take the Cats here. I'm going to take Hawthorn in a close one. Hawthorn.
Hang the call up. No, you've got that's 1, 2, 3 strikes right there. Get out. No, get out. Get out. I'm not losing. We're not losing a Hawthorn. AJ, what's your thoughts?
The Cats are at home over in Geelong for the first time versing Hawthorn over there, so it's going to be interesting. I think Geelong by 6 points.
I think we're going to win by more than that. I reckon I'm going to give us an 18-point win. I don't rate Hawthorn this year. I don't think Hawthorn are great. And yes, we've got they're a rival, and rivalries are always difficult to predict. But gee whiz, I don't rate Hawthorn this year. I don't think they're fantastic. And I think that Geelong, I wouldn't even be surprised if I'm underrating it. I honestly think we could be up towards the 30 mark here. I think that we can do it. And this is all dependent on what I said before. I don't know whether we're going to be a bottom of the top 8 team or a top of the top 8 team. If we're a bottom of the top 8 team, we're going to beat Hawthorn by 18 points. If we're a top of the top 8 team, then we're going to beat Hawthorn by 30 to 40. That's my thoughts. So that's a quick little summary there. Next up, we've got the Brisbane Lions versus Freo Dockers. We've got AJ up. Who are you going?
Lions by 18 over Freo.
I agree. I got Lions by 26 here.
I think it's funny that Freo have won 7 of their last 10 against the Lions, but I'm going to go with the Lions here by 28 points.
Yep, that's a fair call. Yep, Lions by 28 points. Then we've got Carlton versus the D's. Not exactly the most enthralling of matchups there, but I'm actually going to go Carlton here. I rate Carlton a lot more than usual this year. I think they are definitely on the upwards trend. You saw last year, there was a couple of times, and I don't know why I'm really going into this too much, but you saw last year on a couple of times that Carlton definitely had it in them. There are a couple of players there that can take it, and this D's team isn't what it used to be. It wasn't the same D's team as it was a couple of years ago. So I'm getting behind Carlton here. I'm getting them in a close one. I'm going to tip them by 10 points. Hayden, you're up.
I got Carlton by 15. Again, I don't think it'll be a blowout, but Carlton
I thought you were about
15.
to say 50 for a second. I was like, get the shit.
Get that out here. 15. Yep. I think it's a fair margin.
Okay, then you know what? We'll go to the Gold Coast Suns versus West Coast Eagles game because that obviously isn't the most enthralling game. I'm saying West Coast by 40. I'm honestly saying West Coast by 40. I don't give a shit if this is the Metricon. The point of the matter is that West Coast are going to win this, and that's probably 60 is still probably under what they're probably going to win by. But the thing is, actually,
win by 100.
I think Gold Coast are better than they have been previous years. But I don't think this game against West Coast is going to be where they show it. I think this game against West Coast is going to be a nice little reality check for the team feeling positive, and then they're going to have to come out. I think next week they have a bit of an easier game against, they have Adelaide, which is hard. It's still hard, but in the same sense, it's not outrageously hard. So I think Adelaide will still win that game anyway. But the point of the matter is I think Gold Coast are definitely not as bad as they have previously been. Hayden, who's your tip?
I've got West Coast Eagles by 44. I think they do get over that 40, but I don't think I think Gold Coast can stop them from being a massive blowout from between 60 to 100.
44 is a massive blowout, but I know what you're saying. It
is. I mean, I guess if it's like NRL, it's like 13 plus, but that's why I've got it. It's not that big of a blowout, Blaze.
It is 44. That's nearly 10 goals. Nearly. That's only like 3 goals short. It's like 7 goals difference. That's a decent blowout. But it's not like the 1 or 12, 13 plus. Like that's the difference in rugby league, but in AFL, gee whiz. Then we've got the big one, the Port Adelaide Power versus the Adelaide Crows. I'm up first, and I'm tipping Port Adelaide here. I'm getting behind the Power. I think they are looking good this year, and I'm going to tip Port by 4. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think they're a better team than Adelaide by a decent margin, but this game is always close, no matter what. This game is always close. It's always 50-50. We spoke about this with Charlie Dixon on the podcast, and I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely going to be an outrageous game. I can't wait to stream it. Hayden, what's your thoughts?
Well, let me just say this game hasn't been close since 2018 when it was 96-93. The last game was 88-68, and the game before that was Port by 64. I'm tipping Port Adelaide by 9. I do think this will be a close game. I think the Derby the Derby will be Derby, not Derby, sorry, the Derby. The Derby, both teams will be right up for it, competitive, and I think Port Adelaide come away with the chocolates.
Firstly, some breaking news out of the Crows camp on Sunday. Billy Fratman and Carl Hartigan had a full-on punch-up in a training session. So
hey, big about the beef.
So that was massive. And they were laying on each other, so it was massive. So the Crows doing all sorts, and I think they could lose by like probably 10 to 20 points. So I think
I'm taking Port by 24. I'm taking Port 24. I'm taking Port to 24. I'm changing my tip. I'm taking Port by 24. If they're having a fight in their ranks right now and they're going up against a good team in Port and they're going up against they're the home team. They're both the home team. I'm honestly changing Port to 24. I'm doing it right now. I'm changing my tip to Port from 4 to 24. I think that is massive news for two players to be having a punch up in the sheds.
In the sheds.
He's got him, son. But yeah, I'm taking him 24. So next up, we've got an interesting game. I don't really know how to rate them this year. GWS versus North Melbourne.
All right, so GWS have won no home games against North Melbourne from their last 10 games. I think that changes. I'm tipping GWS by 30.
Ooh. Okay. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to
tip North Melbourne.
I'm going to tip a shocky. And I'm going to tip North Melbourne, and I'm going to tip them by 6. Ooh. I'm going to tip them by 6. Ooh. I reckon it's going to be a close game. I don't think GWS are that good this year compared to last year. I think they'll still be grand final, sorry. I still think they'll be top 8, but I think that North Melbourne are definitely improved. I don't think they're going to make the top 8, but I just feel like this is the kind of game that North Melbourne could win. I feel like it's a little bit of a Warriors situation in the NRL where if they're going to win a game against a good team, that's a bit different because the Dragons aren't a good team. But if they're going to win a game against a good team, it's going to be against GWS. I feel like their contrasting styles will be it'll be okay for Kangas to really get into it. And actually, you know what? I reckon they're probably going to – Hayden's more likely on the favourite side. I think GWS are probably favourites by about 20-odd, 24-odd. I'm going for a shock here. It is what it is. If I lose, I lose. I don't really care because I'm going to get every other tip right, aren't I, Hayden? Next up, we've got Swans versus Essendon.
Essendon will win by 14.
Oh my god! I've tipped the Swans by 14. That's crazy.
Oh my god! Well, I'm not tipping the Swans. I'm tipping the Bombers by 10 points. So Hayden, we're going across against each other a bit here. Ooh.
That's good. Did you know that the Essendon Bombers in their last 10 have not won any away games against the Sydney Swans as well?
Really? Wow. Well, I don't care. No, that's a good stat. But I'm taking the Bombers here in a quick one, and then St Kilda versus the Dogs. Well, the thing is that he's going to tip the Dogs. He's going to tip St Kilda. So I'm the one who's going to differentiate this. I can tell you right now. So I'm going to tip the Dogs here. I'm going to tip.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tip them by 14 points. And that's going to be a close one that I wouldn't be surprised if St Kilda win too, by the way. Hayden, go on, hurry up and tip your Dogs. We all know what's happening.
I'm tipping the Dogs, end of story. But it's going to be very close. And again, I think St Kilda have a massive chance. This is a very close scoreline. I'm going to tip the Dogs by 11.
11. Oh, I think that's the first odd number that we've had here so far. I think that's the first odd number. I think so. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it is. And AJ, hurry up and tip St Kilda.
I'm going to tip the Saints by 1, but it could even be a draw, mate.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to wrap us up